Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. Lord, I think it's Thursday. Yeah, it is, August 19th. How's everyone doing? Oh my gosh, guys. After my stream, I went and laid on the couch and crashed out. My weed must have been too strong last night. Let me tell you something. I'm not smoking no more before I go live because let me tell you, Skylar was on the porch with me the whole time. But in my defense, she was back here behind my chair, so I couldn't see her. And hell, I forgot I brought her in before my stream. I thought that, I thought that she was still out there, but what it was is she did refuse to come in. Then finally I got her to come in, and then I forgot. Oh my goodness. Hey Maggie, Sapphire, Pink Sugar, Melanie, Charlie Girl Says, Jack's mom, Remy, Cheryl T, Debbie, Clancy, good morning, Melanie, Roberta, Sky, good morning. I was creeped out too last night, Melanie. Hey Tammy, good morning. So guys, I wanted to go live early, a little bit early, because Plymouth police are going to do a press conference about missing baby Mercedes Lain. And I have an article, and Red Rum sent me some stuff too. You were amusing, Cece. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Hey, Pamela. Anyways, I got an article about Mercedes' dad and his troubled past. And let me tell you something. He is a piece of crap. Let me tell y'all what he did. He let his 12-year-old daughter hook up with a 20-year-old man because that man was giving him weed. And guess what? That 20-year-old got his 12-year-old daughter pregnant. They even let this weirdo move in their house and sleep in the same bedroom with their 12-year-old daughter. I kid you not. And he, of course, he was charged for it. And the 20-year-old, I believe he got about 8 years in prison over it. Let me get the article. I need to, hold on a minute though. Let me go to their Facebook and see if they've started this press conference. Because it's supposed to start at 10:30. Yeah, here they are. Okay, I'll have to read y'all that article after the press conference here. Let's listen. They might have found Mercedes. Hopefully, if they found her, she's alive. They're doing an update for some reason. I can't believe they let that weirdo, who is kin to them, he's kin to one of them, babysit their daughter.
Thanks for coming.
Hold on.
The search for Mercedes Lain, 11-month-old, ended approximately 9 p.m. in a remote, obscure, densely forested area, not far from the Stark County, Marshall County line. It was in Stark County.
Oh no, guys.
And she was deceased. Before I go into,
I knew that son of a bitch did something to her.
I am allowed to go into, which are going to be rather limited. I'd like to introduce to you Paul Keenan. He's a special agent in charge of the FBI office out of Indianapolis for a few words.
Good morning. I just wanted to take a moment to thank all of our partners that we work with in the local law enforcement community here, state police. It was a great partnership. Everyone worked hand in hand, no egos. We knew the most important thing was to try and find the young victim in this case. The FBI stands ready to assist, as we did here. Anytime a child goes missing of tender age, we flew in people from around the country at the request of the local law enforcement here to try and bring this to a resolution as quickly as possible. We thank everybody involved, We're sorry it didn't come to the conclusion that everybody wanted, but it was a strong effort. Everyone involved, including the prosecutors, local and state police. Thank you, and I'll pass it back to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. I am Nelson Chapman. I'm the prosecuting attorney in Marshall County. Some of the agencies, and in my years, I've never seen the depth and breadth of the agencies. Already identified the FBI. That includes Indianapolis field office, but also South Bend and Fort Wayne. There's also the FBI CARD, C-A-R-D, stands for Child Abduction Rapid Deployment Team. Department of Natural Resources were involved. Marshall County Police Department, Marshall County Sheriff's Department, of course. It is a Plymouth Police Department case. Indiana State Police. Washington Township Volunteer Fire Department, and that's in Stark County. Marshall County Coroner, obviously our office, and the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. There's also several task force officers. I don't know how familiar you are with that concept. Several of the larger police departments have the ability to assign officers to federal task forces, and they actually are assigned for lengthy periods of time, sometimes years. And there are officers here from St. Joseph County Police Department, Elkhart Police Department, and Allen County Police Department. Stark County Sheriff's Department and Mishawaka Police Department also gave assistance. Now, when we're going into the case, several of the local media have heard me say many times, at this stage of the proceedings, we are limited by ethics and statute and fairness to emphasize that the people we're about to talk about are presumed innocent, and that these are allegations, and they are mere allegations that need to be proven beyond a reasonable doubt.
They did it.
So
They
at this
did it.
stage, all we've reached is probable cause, and not yet a conviction. If there's a conviction in the future, I can go into much greater detail. So if there are questions at the end, please realize there's strict limits on what I can say. So this case started, as far as law enforcement, on August 15th, Sunday, August 15, with a 911 call and a dispatch by Plymouth Police to the Economy Inn, north side of Plymouth. Tiffany Coburn she's the mother of Mercedes, and Kenneth Lain, the father of Mercedes, reported that Mercedes was missing. So subsequent investigation revealed that, and all of this is in the probable cause affidavit that has now been recently amended and filed, and that's why I can talk about it, because it's part of the court record. A lot of confusion from those parents once they were located on the timeline of events. But what it appeared to be was that on Friday, August 13, the parents gave Mercedes to Justin Miller for reportedly a few days break from their child. And he did not bring her back. That's what triggered the 911 call. Eventually, a silver alert was activated, and eventually the parents were located because they were not easily found. You'll see that in the probable cause affidavit.
We got that
On
affidavit. Red Ram sent it to me.
August 16, which would be Monday, at approximately 8:30, Tiffany was finally put in custody, and eventually her husband was also arrested because of what had developed to be a neglect of the dependent case as a level 6. Eventually, Kenneth Lain was located, the father was located at the Red Rock Inn on August 16, the evening hours. Justin Miller was found in Stark County at a residence, and he too was brought into custody and interviewed numerous times. Eventually, on yesterday afternoon, after interviewing, after several times of being interviewed, Justin Miller led officers to this location in Stark County. It was secured as a crime scene. We waited for crime scene investigators to arrive and process the scene, and it was several hours before Mercedes' body was removed from the area. As a result, Kenneth Lain is charged with a level 6 neglect of the dependent. Tiffany Coburn, the mother, is charged with a level 6 felony neglect of dependent, and that involves the allegations of giving the child to Justin Miller under the circumstances that the investigation has revealed. Justin Miller has now been charged, or will be charged, the paperwork is being processed as we speak, with an L1, level 1 neglect of a dependent resulting in death. Level 1 is punishable by a maximum of, well, between 20 to 40 years. Level 6s are 1.5 years to 2.5 years. Their initial hearing will be probably tomorrow, and the court will inquire if they are going to retain counsel or have a court-appointed counsel. And certain dates will be set up, pretrial conference, omnibus dates, and status conferences, and we'll see how that progresses. That's all I have to say. If you have any questions, I do have copies of the affidavit to distribute when we're finished.
Could you tell us, does it appear that the child, do you have a sense for where the child passed away? Obviously, you find him in this wooded area, but when was this death? Best you can determine.
The affidavit talks about Saturday.
How many autopsy results?
No, we're scheduling that, and we are looking for a specialist in forensic children, pediatric.
So the child died on Saturday.
Well, I'm just saying that the conversations and the timelines that were provided are so garbled. You will also see that there's evidence of drug use, and
those crimes are the drug. Is that something that you might look at charging them for as well, drug crimes?
that'd be the least of their worries.
Does it appear that the child was deposited in that location on Saturday?
Oh yeah, yes.
Do you believe that the baby was held there and then brought to this location?
I can't go into that.
Do you have an idea of how she died? I mean, why is this a neglect of and resulting in death versus a murder charge?
We're still, we haven't even had an autopsy yet. So that to answer your question is, that's the first answer is autopsy.
Do you have the initial indication just based on?
Actually, she was wrapped in. It's not in the affidavit. I can't go into it. So
She was wrapped in something.
yeah.
Did we get more of a specific location? You said wooded area, I believe.
Yeah, it's 1025 east, 50 north, Stark County. In fact, the road signs are just like that right there.
Is there any
But it's
significance,
inside.
any significance to that
Woods.
location that you know of?
Not that I'm aware of. It's not mentioned at all.
So out of all that garbled information, what finally kind of said this was the accurate information that got you to this location?
I didn't understand.
You said there was just a lot of garbled information, misinformation.
The affidavit talks about Justin Miller led the officers there.
I mean, how did he get this sudden sense of clarity, I guess, to finally off it up?
That's a legitimate question.
Let me ask you this, is your sense that on Sunday when they were reported missing, that the parents knew what the outcome was, or they truly did not know what had happened to their child?
No, I don't think there's no proof, evidence whatsoever that they knew the ultimate outcome here.
Was this an accident or was the child intentionally killed?
We're not to that point. It's not in the affidavit. I can't talk about anything that's not court record.
How's the family doing? You spoken to the aunts and the grandmother?
They're very upset. They were notified. We had a press conference 2 days ago, Plymouth Police Department with the grandmother and an aunt. They were upset then, of course, and I know that they were notified last night.
You said initial court hearings are set for tomorrow, right?
Pardon me?
Initial court hearings set for tomorrow?
I believe so. I can't vouch for it, but I would think it would be cranking up.
Do you anticipate amending the charges after that?
No, I have no evidence to suggest amending anything quite yet. The evidence is still coming in. Like I said, the autopsy hadn't even been scheduled.
That's why I was asking if it would be amended later.
Well, it depends on the evidence.
Mr. Miller admit to killing the baby or just depositing? the
It's
body?
not in the affidavit about any
But
admission.
he admitted to depositing the body.
He led them there.
Okay. But he didn't admit to actually leaving the baby there. He just led them to the crime scene, right?
He led them there.
Okay.
Said that.
And in the affidavit we got yesterday, it said that the parents have been uncooperative in finding their child. I believe that's a direct quote. Why? Can you explain why that was in there? I mean, how have they been uncooperative?
Well, you can see from the sequence of events that there's a 911 call, and then they couldn't be found. And it took some effort to find them.
It also talked about Mr. Miller saying he went to a friend's home in Coons Lake, but possibly went to his girlfriend's house in Mishawaka. Were you able to verify where exactly he was during this time?
Yes,
Where was that?
both places. I mean, he
He was in
traveled.
both
He
places.
traveled.
Okay.
So he's indicating that he is using drugs at various times during these periods of time between Saturday and Wednesday?
There's not a lot of that in the affidavit, but there is evidence to suggest that.
He admitted to using synthetic marijuana, correct?
That was in the original, yeah.
And the parents were using methamphetamine?
That was in the original affidavit, yes.
When were Mercedes' family notified?
As far as the discovery?
Yeah.
10 p.m., 10, 11.
Can you describe the level of frustration that I see a lot of your officers back here put in a lot of time, you put in some time on this, and with the outcome, just from the law enforcement perspective, how difficult cases like this can be when you have a young child involved?
Well, absolutely. Almost all of us I can see are parents, and the common thread that people have with 11-month-old. Everybody wanted to find this Mercedes alive and healthy. So there's, in the same vein, these guys make a living from seeing some of this, and we wanted it to turn out differently. It didn't.
Does the fact that Mr. Lain has a previous charge of neglect of the defendant from 6 years ago. Would that cause him to be charged additionally, or that to be an elevated charge or anything?
It wouldn't off the cuff right now. It could have other ramifications later on.
Mr. Lain previously admitted to trading minors for drugs. Is there anything in the affidavit about that
No,
this time around?
no. The affidavit describes a situation of some parents that gave the child to Mr. Miller, and they talked about taking a break. So there's no evidence of any selling or anything.
In the affidavit, Mr. Miller, I believe, told police that he left the baby with a woman at the motel. So did that turn out not to be true, or is that something you're still looking at?
No, we're not looking at that.
So that turned out to be false information?
Just logically, yes, it was false.
The affidavit mentions that Mr. Miller was a family friend of the Lanes. Are you able to elaborate any more on the relationship they had, how they knew each other, how long they had known each other?
I cannot elaborate on that. Not that there's anything that I see of significance right now, but I don't know to the extent, but they did know each other, certainly. There was some mention that they might have been related.
So, but
Related, is that?
No.
And he was related to who, possibly? I don't remember that.
Tiffany and Kevin. To Kevin.
You mentioned several different agencies that were involved. Is there a total number of law enforcement officials that worked on this?
Wow. That would be a good answer. Anybody have any idea? If I described it to somebody about when we had briefings back there, I'd say there's 30 people or more. Or 40. And there's some, the resources, and if we can change tracks for a second, the resources that came to bear to go all over the 3-county area, St. Joe, Marshall, and Stark, is actually absolutely astonishing. There's no way a police department like the size of Plymouth, 24 officers, could do any, to send out two-person teams to interview literally dozens of people and gather video from doorbells, for goodness sake, and security cameras from neighbors. But for the notion that we should defund police, this is an example of where that is so wrong and misguided. If anything, we need this help, this bolstering of assets.
Are there any other suspects still looking at interested in?
No.
Could you confirm the location one more time of where she was found?
1025 East Division, did you say?
No, 1025 east and 50 north.
He's getting annoyed.
Road system that would put you. Last night it didn't help me, but I got there. And actually, that is the very intersection that the woods are. And
How far back in the woods was she?
I do not know that when it was taped off, and nobody was going to go back except the CSI guys for hours.
And there was no real hesitation. I mean, when he finally led officers to this location, he was able to very directly go there, or was he wandering around trying to figure it out again?
I have no indication either way. But my sense is that it was a direct tape. You
I
know,
mean, how far back, I mean, this was not just right off the side of the road. I mean, was it-
right? You can't see you could probably get there now, but you can't see the location from the road
Around there,
because
all forest.
it's densely forested. There's the property owner is maybe 100, 200 yards north.
When you spoke with that property owner, did they report seeing anything strange over the weekend or did they talk, I mean, were they able to?
Not in the affidavit. And I would, that's safe to say.
Chief Bacon, if I could ask you, just because you were the original, sort of what this process has been like, especially as far as the community reaction and community outpouring and stuff on this case. If you could just sort of speak to that possibly a little bit. So we can hear you.
The community's been very helpful, which is what we look for. We need that cooperation to get information from them. We've had that, the outpouring of support, trying to find Mercedes. The outside agencies have been tremendous. I can't say enough about what they've done. My employees, my officers, my lead detective, Ben McIntyre, he started, so his normal shift's supposed to start normally Monday morning at 7 a.m. and he was in at, I believe, 3:30 or 4. And basically up until now, he's gone home to sleep for a short time. Other than that, he's been working. My other detective is about equivalent to that. A couple of crime scene people, and we're a small agency. And so the help that we received, it's been outstanding. We appreciate everybody's patience, appreciate the patience of the press. I realize you probably were not getting as much as you wanted. My email would say that, but I appreciate what you guys do, but you have to also realize, like Mr. Chapman said,
Okay,
there's
guys.
only so
I
much
think we've listened to
we're
enough.
releasing what we could,
Okay.
and
Let's take that off there. Thank you, Pink Sugar, for the super chat. Thanks for your dedication, CC. I appreciate you. Oh, I appreciate y'all. I really do. Okay, now let's look at this affidavit since the press is not going to. That cop acts like he was getting annoyed at the questions they kept asking. Oh my gosh, are you not paying attention to what the man was saying? Come on. Let's see. Red Rams messaged me again. Okay, she sent me the amended one for Kenneth. Okay, let me go back up. Let's open this one up. She sent me this morning. Hold on, let me take that down. Oh gosh, let me see if I can read it. Okay, this is State of Indiana against Tiffany Coburn. Okay. Okay, I'm not going to read all that. That I, Ben McIntyre, am duly authorized and appointed officer of the Plymouth Police Department, Marshall County, Indiana. On August 15, 2021, Plymouth Police Officer Krynock was dispatched to the Economy Inn at 2535 North Michigan Road, room 246, for a missing 11-month-old girl. The father, Kenneth Lain, and the mother, Tiffany Coburn, had left a family relative, Justin Miller, take the child, victim 1, Lain, for a few days so the parents could have a break. Jesus mercy. This would have possibly been Friday, August 14th. Miller was supposed to bring victim 1 back the following day. Then it was decided that Miller would bring her on Sunday. Both parents attempted to get a hold of Miller numerous times and could not contact him. They finally contacted him on Sunday, and Miller advised that he had dropped victim 1 off with a neighbor since Lain and Coburn weren't home. No one has seen victim 1 since. Another neighbor contacted officers and advised Tiffany brought over a duffel bag with something in it and asked them to watch it because they needed to call the police about their missing baby. the duffel bag contained a safe. It is believed that this safe contained illegal narcotics. Okay, a silver alert was declared for Miller and victim one. Approximately 3:30 a.m. on August 16th, Miller was located in Stark County at a residence that belonged to Paul Coffin. He was then brought to the Plymouth Police Department so I could interview him. I advised Miller of his rights, to which he waived. He stated that on Thursday, August 12th, he was contacted by Kenneth Lain about buying some synthetic marijuana. The conversation then turned into the rough time when they were having with victim one. Miller advised he told them that he would watch her for a few days so they could have a break. Miller's recollection of events changed several times. At first, he thought they went to a McDonald's at Coontz Lake and stayed at the Coffin residence for a few days. He then changed his story to going to his girlfriend Katie Moat's residence in Mishawaka or something, and then back to the Coffin residence after he got kicked out of Moat's house on Saturday. After being kicked out of the house, he dropped victim one off at the Economy with a shorty, heavyset white female that he had seen on several occasions in Kenneth and Tiffany's room. He did not know her name, and no one was at the room. So he thought it would be okay because he had an appointment. Okay, let me get the next screenshot. Get it shared. Okay, to go to. He thought this to be Saturday afternoon around 3 p.m. Miller advised he had spoke to with both Lain and Coburn through Facebook Messenger. Miller also admitted to using synthetic marijuana on numerous occasions when with victim one. Marshall County officers spoke with Coffin, and he advised that Miller showed up with the child on Friday, August 13th, for a while, and then left and came back on Sunday, the 15th, without the child. Attempts to make contact with Tiffany Coburn and Kenneth Lain had been unsuccessful all evening. They had not returned calls to officers as of August 15, 2021. Boy, they was really worried about their little baby, wasn't they? They wouldn't even return the officers' phone calls. On August 16th, 2021, at approximately 8:30 a.m., I finally made contact with Tiffany Coburn. She advised she was waiting for a ride from her sister and would be coming in to see me about her missing daughter. As of 11 a.m., she has not come in, and the phone she had called from is turned off. I made contact with the sister, Stacy Milton, and Stacy advised she had not seen her sister since 3 a.m. when she dropped them off from looking for the baby. Both Coburn and Lain have been uncooperative in looking for their child. Reckon they traded Mercedes to him for drugs or something. Who knows? Okay, Tiffany Coburn was subsequently taken into custody on August 16, 2021 at approximately 1:30 p.m. outside of the Economy Inn. Kenneth Lain was not with her at the time, and she advised she did not know where he was. Tiffany Coburn was transported back to the Plymouth Police Department and advised of her Miranda rights. During the interview, it was learned that she had been in contact with Kenny Lain and Justin Miller through Facebook Messenger numerous times during the period victim one was missing. Also, during the interview, Coburn admitted to using methamphetamine on numerous occasions. Well, Kenny Lain let that 20-year-old mess around with his 12-year-old daughter, and the 20-year-old was giving him weed. So who's to say that they didn't trade the baby for some drugs? Okay. Kenneth Lain was located at the Red Rock Inn at approximately 6 p.m. on August 16, 2021. He was found under the influence of an unknown substance. He was transported back to Marshall County Jail where he was interviewed. He admitted to speaking with Coburn and Miller through Facebook Messenger. Lain advised he had been in contact with Miller throughout the weekend but did not know where he was. As of this date, victim 1 has not been located. Dated this 17th day of August 2021. Now let's look at Kenny Lane's affidavit, probable cause, whatever you call it. Thank you, Red Rhyme, for sending this. Is there something else I missed? Let me see what this one was. Okay. I think I missed one. It's just saying that her bail is at $15,000. You can tell they're druggies. Let me show y'all this before I read the other one. This was on her Facebook this morning. She looks like a big fat hog. Sorry ass thing. That was May 12th, 2:20 a.m. There she is. There's little Mercedes. I guess these are her other children. Fat, ugly thing. I don't usually call people stuff like that, but she's a piece of shit for turning her baby over to that weirdo. They're all weirdos. Okay, let me see. I think I should open this one first. Okay, State of Indiana versus Kenneth Lain. Okay, the State of Indiana, by prosecuting attorney E. Nelson Chapman, files an amended affidavit for probable cause, which is examined by the court. The court finds that probable cause does exist for the arrest of Kenneth Lain and orders the clerk to issue a warrant. Maybe that was the last part of it. My bad. Let me go back. Okay. I think that was supposed to be in the end of the probable cause thing. Okay. That I, Ben McIntyre, am duly authorized and appointed officer of the Plymouth Police Department, Marshall County, Indiana. On August 15, 2021, Plymouth Police Officer Krynock was dispatched to the Economy Inn at 2535 North Michigan Road, room 246, for a missing 11-month-old girl. The father, Kenneth Lain, and the mother, Tiffany Coburn, had left a family relative, Justin Miller, take the child, victim 1, Lain, for several days so the parents could have a break. This would have possibly been Friday, August 14th. Miller was supposed to bring victim 1 back the following day. Then it was decided that Miller would bring her on Sunday. Both parents attempted to get a hold of Miller numerous times and could not contact him. They finally contacted him on Sunday, and Miller advised that he had dropped victim 1 off with the neighbor since Lain and Coburn weren't home. No one has seen victim 1 since. Okay, this is basically saying the same thing that Tiffany said. Another neighbor contacted officers and advised Tiffany brought over a duffel bag with something in it, asked them to watch it because they need to call police about their missing baby. The duffel bag contained a safe. It is believed that this safe contained illegal narcotics. A silver alert was declared for Miller and victim 1 approximately at 3:30 a.m. on August 16th. Miller was located in Stark County at a residence belonging to Paul Coffin. He was then brought to the Plymouth Police Department so I could interview him. I advised Miller of his rights, to which he waived. He stated on Thursday, August 12th, he was contacted by Kenneth Lain about buying some synthetic marijuana. The conversation then turned into the rough time they were having with victim 1. Oh, such a rough time with an 11-month-old baby. You freaking wusses, weirdos. Miller advised he told them that he would watch her for a few days so they could have a break. Miller's recollection of events changed several times. At first, he thought they went to McDonald's. Okay, we done read that in Tiffany's probable cause. Let's go to the next one, see what it says. Let's see if this one has anything different than hers. Okay. He thought this to be okay. That's still talking about weirdo Miller. Marshall County officers spoke with Coffin and he advised that Miller showed up with the child on Friday. Okay, we know that. Attempts to contact with Tiffany Coburn and Kenneth Lain had been unsuccessful all evening. They had not returned calls to officers as of August 15th. Okay, and it just goes on to say what I read previously. The officer made contact with Tiffany. She said she's waiting on a ride from her sister. She never showed up as of 11 a.m. that day and then turned her phone off. She was located and taken into custody. And so was Kenneth Lain. That's all that says. Okay, now I wanted to read y'all something else about this weirdo. Let me find it. Wait, I might have put it in my private chat over here. Let me see. Oh, yeah. Right here it is. We're going to read about Kenneth Lane's troubled past. And this article talks about, the 20-year-old and getting his 12-year-old daughter pregnant. Kenny and the girl's mother was fine with it. Pieces of crap. Okay. Let's just play the video. That way I don't have to read it all. It'll probably play an ad first. Maybe. It keeps moving on me. Oh, yeah. A freaking ad, of course. Why is it not playing? Okay, go ad. I hate ads on videos. It is so freaking annoying. That's why I try not. Sometimes I put them on my videos, but most of the time I don't. Because it's so annoying.
About the three people sitting in jail in connection with Mercedes' disappearance. Yesterday, we first told you Tiffany Coburn, Mercedes' mother, and Justin Miller are in jail. Mercedes' babysitter had prior drug charges. Now, we're learning more about the father, Kenny Lane's criminal past, too. ABC 57 investigative reporter Richard Bodie is live in studio with what he found out. Rich.
Yeah, Tiffany, as you said, right now, Lain and Coburn and Miller all face charges of neglect of a dependent, and they're behind bars. But through court documents, we uncovered this isn't Kenny Lane's first time facing neglect charges.
Back in December of 2014, Knox police began investigating Kenny Lain and his then-wife Mary Lain for neglect of a dependent after their daughter, who was a minor at the time and who we are not going to name, got pregnant. The man who got the minor pregnant is named Angel Delapaz, who was 20 years old when the minor was 12. In June 2015, Delapaz was arrested for child molestation and later sentenced to 8 years in the Indiana Department of Corrections. Meanwhile, Kenny Lain told investigators while he knew his daughter was pregnant, he didn't know Delapaz and said he'd never heard the name. But Kenny's daughter told investigators her parents knew of her relationship with Delapaz, a relationship that she says began around October of 2014. The minor told police Delapaz would frequent the family residence prior to the start of the minor's relationship with him. In November 2014, Kenny and Mary Lain allowed Delapaz to move in with them and even allowed Delapaz to sleep in the minor's room. Fast forward to September 2015. After months of interviews and investigating, court documents show Mary Lain admitted to Knox police that Kenny told her in exchange for marijuana from Delapaz, Kenny allowed Delapaz to be with the minor. Mary wasn't the only one to confirm that, so did another man named Cody Byrne, who was Mary Lane's then boyfriend and living in the same house as the family. Kenny Lain was sentenced in April of 2016 to 2 years in the Stark County Justice Center, while Mary Lain served 105 days in jail and got 24 months probation.
Now, Kenny Lane's sentencing was a part of a plea deal he took after pleading not guilty. We are, of course, continuously digging through court documents and police reports to learn more details about who is involved in Mercedes' disappearance. Richard Bodie, ABC 57 News.
Rich, thank you. Now, if you at home know anything about what happened to 11-month-old Mercedes Lain, you should call 911 immediately, no matter where you are. This is still a developing situation, so we'll keep.
I told y'all. He's pimping his 12-year-old daughter out for marijuana. The angel guy was giving him marijuana. They let him move into the house and sleep in the 12-year-old's bedroom with her. They're sick. Totally sick. Now let's look at this weirdo's Facebook. Then I need to tell y'all about a whole family they found dead in California, including the dog, the mom, the dad, the little baby, and the dog. Found in the California forest. National Forest or something like that. Hold on a minute. I can't. Okay. It wasn't loading up for me. This is unbelievable. I swear, I believe the parents are more involved with Mercedes' disappearance and murder. I think they traded her to him for some drugs or something, maybe. Who knows? Where's her Facebook? She goes by Tiffany Lain on Facebook. Okay, hold on. Look at her Facebook. But I tell you what, that Kenny guy, whew, he's ugly as hell. You can tell he's strung out. He looks like a mean person. I hate to show these kids pictures, but it's public on Facebook, you know. Okay, on August 16th, look, she shared a silver alert for her own daughter. Let's look at the comments. Someone says, any news at all? Someone says, Tiff, is that your baby? What the heck happened? I hope she's found. Someone says, the parents are trash. Where's the baby? This is making me sick. I'm so worried. It's consuming my thoughts. I don't even know this baby. Sad, sad world. Praying she is warm, fed, and somewhere safe. And I believe this is that screenshot that Red Rum sent me yesterday. And it says, Kenny's my biological father, and this isn't the first time he's been charged with neglect. CPS should have taken Mercedes and Summer a long time ago. They've been living in a motel with children for a year now. Nothing's been done. Kenny has done drugs all of his life, and as badly as this sounds, I feel as if Kenny had something to do with it. Kenny knew that I was being sexually abused by a man who was 8 years older than me, and he and Mary, my biological mother, allowed him to continue in exchange for drugs. This is nothing new. This happened almost 7 years ago. Now this. Kenny needs to never have children again. I called last night to figure out what had happened, and he didn't even seem worried. He kept trying to ask me how I was doing, and that he's so proud of me when what we really should be worried about is my missing sister. Wow. Okay. Methed out freaking trash, somebody said. Someone's meth head. It's probably people from the community that knows them. Okay, let's go back. Okay, August 8th. I'm expecting some pretty awesome photos here, people. Ever wonder why there's so many people on your friends list that you don't even talk to? Oh my gosh, that's one of them stupid things. Here's a test. If you're reading this, leave me a photo. Blah, blah, blah. You're so dumb. Okay, here's some pictures she took on August 6th. Just sitting here, decided to take some pictures. Not sure what we're going to do today. Just enjoyed the day, I guess. Here are some new pictures we decided to take today. Our little girl will be a year on September 24th. This little girl is going to be walking before we know it. Shouldn't she already be walking? Almost a year old? So, okay, let's look at these. I'm getting a stare down by dogs. Oh, bless her little heart. Now you go to the next one. Okay, just scroll. Look at that strung out weirdo. Piece of crap. Both of you are pieces of crap. Oh, look at her, how cute. They probably yelled at her and everything. Then tell them what they did to her. Look at him. Look how mean he looks. The devil's son. Oh, look at that, guys. Oh, bless her sweet heart. So pretty. She deserved a good mom and dad. Loved her, cared for her, protected her, didn't hand her over to a monster. Hey, they're just as guilty in my eyes. Strung out, doing math and stuff with this baby, living in an old hotel room. Just letting every Tom, Dick, and Harry watch this little baby. It's untelling, and I should not think this way, but I know how these weirdos operate. It's untelling what he did to her, guys. I would say he did something horrible. I don't even want to say. Y'all know what I mean. He sexually abused her. Guarantee it. How can they sleep at night? Hey, Cassie, I love how Cece goes right into figure things out. You go, girl. Do your thing. You always do a great job for us. Oh, thank you, Cassie. Thank you. I love that name. I went to school with a girl when I was in grade school in Kentucky. Her name was Cassie. I love that name. I was always so jealous of her when I was like in 4th and 5th grade because she had a cute name and nobody could say my name. So if he let one daughter sleep with a 20-year-old because that 20-year-old was giving him marijuana, who's to say, like I said before, they didn't trade the baby to that weirdo? Because the weirdo, if he's telling the truth, said Kenny, called him wanting some synthetic marijuana? Why do they want to smoke that synthetic marijuana? Marijuana is legal in most states to smoke real marijuana. Why do they want to smoke that chemical stuff that makes you freaking crazy? Of course, that's probably already crazy from all the meth they probably smoke and inject. Pieces of crap. I'm going to say something very controversial, but some people should be sterilized after abusing children. Sorry, but I just don't think they should be able to have. Hey, I totally agree. I totally agree with you. And anybody that disagrees with that don't truly care about children. What is synthetic pot? Huh? They call it spice. Hey, they used to sell it at the gas station, and it was called Mr. Smiley. I smoked it before back in the day. It gave me a headache. It gave me a headache, and it just made my heart feel funny, so I never smoked it again. But I seen on the news where this guy smoked it. I believe it was down in Kingsport. And they videoed him coming out of his house on the stretcher, and he was acting crazy. Crazy, like he had been smoking meth for a month straight with no sleep. But they said that he was smoking that synthetic stuff. I don't understand why anybody would want to smoke that. You can get the real deal. It's beyond me, but I reckon there's some people that's addicted to that crap. And I'm glad ever who was the neighbor in the motel that called police and let them know that Tiffany took a duffel bag out of there that had a safe in it with drugs in it. Probably had needles and everything. It would put you in the hospital. I've seen it. Yes. Yes. Now I'm talking about like I tried it like it's probably been 14 years ago. That stuff's been around for a long time. Real puff puff past the real. Yeah. Yeah. Cannabis won't do you that way unless it's laced with something. This real cannabis, I mean, it just mellows you out. But that spice stuff, it's the devil's drug. Just like methamphetamine's the devil's drug. Do y'all know who invented methamphetamine? Hitler's scientist. Did y'all know that Hitler was a meth head? Yes, his personal doctor, I watched a documentary about it. Hey, Automobile, his personal doctor used to come in there and inject him with meth every day. Yeah, that's why he was so freaking crazy. If y'all don't believe me, look it up. Hitler's scientist invented meth, and they give it to the soldiers and everything. Yeah. Wasn't the guy who was eating someone's face in Florida on spice? I believe so. Weed stinks to me. Does it all smell the same? Oh, I love the smell of some good skunk. Well, I mean, no, it all don't. Some of it don't have much of a smell. It's probably not much good then. But if it smells like a skunk, it's probably really good. Yes, and he gave it to his soldiers. That's why they never stopped. Yes, I watched a documentary about it. Yeah, his scientist invented methamphetamine, and he was a meth head. That's why he was so crazy. They use meth, ecstasy, all types of drugs to control the soldiers. Yeah, they just keep going and going and going because they was jacked up on that stuff. It's crazy. Hitler's probably the Antichrist. Oh, the Florida man was on bath salts. Oh, Lord, that stuff is even worse than